What is up, everyone? Welcome back to more Tsukihime. We are starting the far side routes with Akiha now, so I'm gonna do my best to start her route. If hopefully it's not too unclear in the choices. I do know that the branching path to the far side routes is in bed, whether you go to check or not. The Awu when Nero's out there. So I'll keep that in mind. Hopefully that gives me enough guidance to figure it out. But if not, because I don't want to accidentally start Hisui, I might actually look it up just to be clear, like on a non-spoiler site, like the one I use for Stay Night. But yeah, I'm gonna do my best to figure that out regardless, and if not, then I'll go check it out. But yeah, I want to take this time to kind of like, how do I say, word vomit, kind of all my thoughts going into the far side routes now, kind of what I'm taking away from Xiao route, from Arc routes, and maybe what that means going forward. So first off, I learned something interesting in the time between posting the Arcubeat ending and now. I haven't posted to YouTube yet the Arcubeat ending, so as of right now I'm only responding to Patreon comments just because those are the only ones that exist. I was told that there we go. I was told in the manga for Tsukihime that there's something like akin to a last episode for the Arcubeat ending, the Arcubeat true ending, which makes me happy to hear, because that's what I feel like it was for me in some of the things I talked about at the end of the last part. Like I appreciate a good bittersweet ending, right? Because bittersweet endings, for me at least, kind of carry with it a sense of reality. Like you kind of look at what you've lost, and you look at what you've gained, and you dust yourself off, and you just keep moving forward, right? It's kind of the idea that things don't turn out perfectly in reality, but it's not totally hopeless either, and all the things, the bonds you've created and the good experiences you had, you carry that with you, and you keep going, right? That's a thing I appreciate. But at the same time, like Fate Route is so, first of all, I know it wasn't in the original game, but Fate Route having last episode adds so much to it, right? Like the ending being bittersweet, and Shiro living his life in honor of that, and Shiki living his life in honor of like his love for Arc, and her doing what she feels she needs to do, and saying permanent goodbye. I respect it, but at the same time, I can't help but want more. Like in my mind, I was like, man, I wonder like if maybe Shiki was older and then Arc came back to see him, even if it was for a little bit, to have like another day of like pointless time together, right? Because they're magnetic to each other. Like Arcubeat for the first time has found like happiness, and reflected and understood her own sadness as well, and just her emotions in general. Shiki experiencing love as well, I presume, for the first time. It's for that to like just be done there. It just doesn't feel right to me, if that makes sense. I know that happens in real life. I know love is not enough, but still, I can't help but feel like basically I just can't wait to see what that last episode content is. I think Captain History, you said you would show that to me once I complete the entire visual novel, because apparently there's spoilers in there for other things. So thank you for telling me that, so I don't search for that on my own. Yeah, apparently the manga for Tsukihime is pretty good. I would like to check that out. So yeah, that's kind of my thing with the Arcubeat ending. Like, I appreciate the true ending, the good ending, while being like not as emotional. To me is like just very sweet how Arcubeat just simply chooses to stay. Like she takes the time to say, like, to let her bloodlust pass, and then she just comes back and picks up where they left off. Like, to me, that's nice as well. I don't really find that super unbelievable, at least to me. But it's fine. Like, I don't mind disagreeing on that with people. So going forward, past near side and everything, So one of this is a kind of minor thing, but it's kind of on my mind. I hope Nero Chaos has a better go of it in these next 3 routes. I hope that he's just not just poked by Shiki every single time. Maybe that has to, in the same way that Arcueid kind of has to get nerfed by being killed by Shiki, which I wonder would be different as well. Maybe not. Yeah, I don't think so, because that kind of has to happen, because otherwise Arcueid would just be too OP. But I hope Nero has a better go of it, because he's so cool. He's such a cool character. He's so powerful. Like, for him to, I don't know, play a further part in the story would be nice to see. How Arcueid and Xiao, I'll say how they'll both play part in the story. Like, Shiki and Arcueid are, again, they can't really not cross paths. It just happens, but what that will mean, like, because we saw in the Xiao route what kind of went down with Arcueid, it kind of just became a plot point within Xiao's route as far as Shiki's conflicting feelings there. Obviously choosing Xiao because that was her route, but that was very much a major thing in the Xiao route. I wonder if it's going to be anything similar to that. If there's even an opportunity for that to happen. I don't know. Apparently a lot of mysteries are going to be not only revealed, but also probably how do I say this? There might be questions that arise here that I didn't know were questions in the first place. There might be answers to things that I don't expect at all. That's kind of the impression I get from what I've heard people talk about this, as far as the far side routes being the flip side of Tsukihime. In the same way, Heaven's Feel is kind of the B side to Stay Night. It just shows you something completely different and crazy than you could have expected. So yeah, I hope I'm really curious to see how the characters we know are going to play their part, what it's going to reveal about Akiha, Hisui, and Kohaku, because they've been around. Like, we've seen how Hisui kind of aids Shiki, being his servant within the household, but she helps him. She keeps it a secret the way he goes out at night to see Arcueid and to do what he does at night. And Akiha, particularly in the arc route, revealing what she knows already, as well as despite not being related to Artono Shiki, still considering him like her true, like her Nissan, right? Like, that doesn't change that, which is very sweet. So it may possibly weird going into this route, knowing how routes work. There will probably be romantic thing there between Shiki and Akiha. So yeah, we'll see how that plays out. That's, I mean, and there's also the thing about some of the mysteries I can think of off top. Shiki's past, it could be a thing where it kind of just quote unquote doesn't matter, in the same way like Shiro's past is just kind of perpetual mystery. But that's a thing that was kind of like talked about also in the arc route and also at the end of the CO route. Just who was Shiki before then? Because he's someone who developed the mystic eyes of death perception like naturally after a near-death experience. Like, that doesn't happen to people. Tons of people have near-death experiences. So who is Shiki that he had that? Like, he's not a Tono, so who is he, right? Is there another like family that he could belong to that he just doesn't remember? Because remember, as a kid, he is playing with the Tono family. The Tono family is very prominent. So what family would he be from that he would have the opportunity to play with these Tono kids, right? It's like, it doesn't to me, it doesn't seem like he was just some random friend from school that would just come over. That could be the case, but I don't think so. Especially considering Akiha's education. So I would assume for original Shiki, it would be he would have his own special education as well. Yeah, so that's kind of something on my mind if whenever that might be delved into. As for Akiha herself, I should probably do this because just to avoid rambling too much longer. I should focus on Akiha herself since that is who I'm going for now. I wonder like if we're gonna see truly like how like what is she going through in like her training, like what all does she know? Like I know she knows like the true story about the Shikis and all of that, right? But what else is going on there? Like as a Tono, she still presumably has some latency in terms of like the inversion impulse. Like I know she's been like educated and trained, I assume, to a certain extent regarding that. She obviously knows about it, of course, as a Tono. Is that going to play some aspect in the route where her inversion impulse becomes a factor? Maybe so. Apparently, it's not common in young kids, like what happened with original Shiki, which we know the problem there was Roa. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing if that might be a horrifying factor and just what this is going to reveal more of as far as the story. I continue to wonder more about the prologue in this game. The opening, this thing right here. Because it's at night, and it's like another thing Shiki can't remember, and it's like the dead are there and they're killing people, and it sounds like it's happening at the Tono mansion. A woman like jumps in the way, which I assume is the Tono mother. That's why she's not around. But what exactly is the deal there? I don't know. Because actually, that couldn't be our Shiki, because after his whole thing happens with other Shiki, he's hospitalized and then he's sent away. So who is that back then at the mansion at night who sees that? Could it be Akiha? Maybe so. We know that Hisui in both of the near side routes takes time to walk into the forest, but seemingly not to the clearing. So I don't know what's going on there. It could have been I don't know, man. So I think those are all the things I can think of right now. Maybe more about the connection between Roa Shiki and our Shiki, and maybe more implications about that. And yeah, because I know the thing about them so far. It's very interesting how the I think the fan term for him is like the mystic eyes of life perception, as far as like what Roa has, which is strange to me. It's like a weird like the fact that he can see life, the way that it's phrased like that is kind of strange to me. Like I know it's kind of like it's like the opposite of Shiki. Like he truly sees death, and Roa like sees life on living things, and it's akin to like taking the life force away whenever he traces the lines. At least that's the impression I got. Yeah, I guess that's just something he got from the connection to our Shiki. The way Roa influences our Shiki's thoughts, and possibly original Shiki's inversion impulse, and Roa's feelings towards Arc herself influencing our Shiki as well. Yeah, I wonder what more could be there, if there is much more than that. So have I rabbled enough at this point? Probably. I think that's all the major things I'm kind of going into the far side with. So that being said, I think I'm going to finally begin. So let's go. So as always, the way I did it after I completed the CR route and Archbeat route, I'm gonna go through and just kind of read in my head, and I will pick back up when it says I have not viewed this scene, or rather when I get to a relevant choice, I suppose. So be right back. Well, okay, I really don't want to screw this up, but at the same time, I know that that diverging point of whether I don't go check out Nero Chaos and you know, the Awu, like as I said, I know that's the divergent point. So maybe what I do before then isn't too consequential, as long as I like pick choices that pertain to Akiha, because I know there's a choice like you can say like about I think either Hisui or Kwaku, and about Akiha as well, like while Shiki's heading home. Yeah, I think that might be enough. I don't know, man. I probably should just look it up, but I'm sorry, Sia. Alright, I'm just gonna go through in my head again, and I will be back at the next choice. Can I tell you, I haven't posted the end of the arc route yet, but I got a comment on the latest arc route part saying that apparently I dodged the choices in the arc route that maybe would have led to Yumizuka, or seeing Yumizuka, or finding out what happened to her. I don't know. Apparently I dodged something important there. And I like how in the beginning of this video, I take time to talk about, oh, here's all the things I'm hoping for, here's all the things I hope to learn, and then once again, I forget about Yumizuka, who we saw was great when we started the arc route, and you know, we went down this path. We learned about her and how she views Shiki, and the idea that she said, I know you'll come and save me again, and it's like, no, I'm sorry. Fuck's sake, dude. So I hope maybe that's different here, or in one of the Far Side routes. I don't know. I know it's apparently a meme where she just kind of gets like forgotten about, but hopefully that's not true for all the routes. I don't know, dude. But once again, I've forgotten her, so I apologize. All right, I'm gonna keep going. Wait a minute. This is interesting too. Did I forget that she says this? That she's like, are you going to leave the Arimas? And she gets, wait, hold up. Only Arihiko should know that. Who is Yumizuka, dude? Who is she? I know during the arc route, I went on this crazy, like, 5-minute that took way too long of like, is she secretly, Shiki's actual sister? I don't know what the fuck I said. Like, his actual sister? Or like, why does she know that, right? I know she really has a thing for Shiki due to what he did for her back in the day when she was stuck in the shed. So it's possible she like probed information from Arihiko. Maybe they say that now. Okay, so just to be totally transparent, now that I've come to this choice, I'm like, I really don't want to screw up starting this route and getting like the points I need, because some people implied that it was going to be difficult. I don't want to like go through the thing where I accidentally start Hisui and I have to start again and correct it in the next part. I don't want to go through that. That's the impression I'm getting. Maybe not, but from the way a couple people were talking about it, as far as like, you know, good luck getting Akiha points, I'm like, what does that mean? So I've just looked it up. I'm not looking at anything past the website's called Xerblade, XER Blade. You can see it for yourself if you want to check it. I'm only looking here at the day 1 that leads exactly to the go to sleep choice. I'm not looking at anything past that. Don't worry. I'm just gonna go through those choices because I want to get to that diverging point, and I assume after that I'll probably be good. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. So I will, as it says, eat lunch in class. Have I done this one before? Have I really not done this before? It's lunchtime and the classroom starts to liven up. I guess not. Yeah, I think in both routes I went to the cafeteria, huh? Some guys are dashing off towards the cafeteria, a group of girls are rearranging desks to form a table, and some students are calmly leaving the classroom, boxed lunches in hand. I watched them while I set down the milk and bread I bought. Sheesh, not much of an appetite as usual, huh, Tono? This guy in front of me being here is already a part of my daily routine, and I'm not about to start complaining now. But man, what's up with this? Just the two of us eating lunch together. What kind of meal goes unaccompanied by a beautiful blossom? You don't have any blossoms, why don't you join that group over there? I'm not going to stop you. Idiot. When I say blossom, I mean a single beautiful blossom. Those girls making the group aren't good. They're poisonous rather than being beautiful. Arihiko's comment would have probably earned him some rocks thrown in his direction if the group of girls had heard him. Luckily, the girls in our class didn't hear his poisonous words. That's pretty harsh, Arihiko. Hey, you know what? I don't remember the scene, and I guess the fact that it didn't give me an option to skip just confirmed that. But yeah, I know you were a bad guy before, but haven't you been getting worse lately? You're surpassing merely bad and getting into deviant. Oh no, Detroit Become Human. I can't help it, can I? When there's a truly beautiful blossom at our school, my discerning eye grows more critical. So who is this beautiful blossom? That's a secret. See how... I don't want more competition now, do I? Don't worry, we've been there. Arihiko laughs with an ambitious smile spilling over his face. As it is something I don't have, I'm a little impressed by his ability to express himself so frankly. And then, the person I just met comes in from the classroom door, right? Ah, with a box lunch in one hand, there's no way I could mistake her. Hello, Tono-kun. Mind if I interrupt? It's fine, of course. Smiling, Seo Senpai brings over a chair and sits down naturally. This chair. Senpai, are you hurt? No, I'm not hurt at all. Even her smiling reply troubles me. You said to come here at lunchtime, so I thought it would be rude if I did not. It's true that I said that, but... What I intended to say was that she could come and I would take responsibility if she ended up being hurt. Never change, Shiki, never change. Senpai! Arihiko slams the table with a bang as he stands up. Ah, Inui-kun. Could it be that you and Tono-kun are acquainted? Yeah, we're more than casual acquaintances. Tono and I have been friends since we were kids. Right, Tono? You could even say we were best friends. Silence. Arihiko makes a tight fist for emphasis. There's no room for agreement or disagreement. Oh, really? It is such a coincidence that you two are friends. It sure is. This bastard has such a calm face, I'm wondering just when did he start to get along with Senpai? Arihiko glares at me while laughing towards Senpai. Absent-mindedly, I wonder if that's what you'd call being well-rounded. In the end, Arihiko forcibly convinces Senpai to stay for lunch. Well, since she brought her lunch, perhaps that's what she had in mind in the first place. Oh, Inui-kun, do you live by yourself? Seo? Nah, I live with my sister. Our parents left us in charge of the house, so we naturally learned how to cook, that's all. Wait, your parents did what? Arihiko seems familiar with Senpai. He's able to talk to her more casually than I can. I've only met her a few times. By the way, Senpai, you said that you were called here by Tono. Did something happen? Yes, I ran into Tono-kun during the break. I wasn't hurt, but Tono-kun hit his head. And you came to see him because you became worried? Yes, that's about right. Senpai's voice is brisk and pleasant to listen to. Since listening is more interesting than talking, I keep silent. I agree, Shiki. That's when Arihiko directs the conversation towards me. What's wrong, Tono? Running into someone, don't tell me your anemia was acting up again. Arihiko's voice betrays his deep concern about my health. No, it's not that. I was running to the office to deal with some details for me moving. That's when I ran into Senpai. Really? Well, I guess your carelessness was at fault. Arihiko folds his arms and nods in agreement to himself. Tono-kun, are you changing schools? Senpai suddenly outbursts almost hysterically. Oh. Really, why does she think I'm changing schools just because of that? I'm not changing schools, Senpai. I'm just changing my place of residence, so I filed the paperwork for a change of address. I'm just thinking Seo in her mind. She's like, damn it, I have to use suggestion on a whole other school, get a whole other uniform. Damn it, Shiki. So that means you're going to be living alone? No, I'm just going back to my real home. It's that fancy place on top of the hill. I still can't quite believe it yet. Oh, could that possibly be the Tono-san mansion? Senpai asks with some hesitation. The Western-style house on top of the hill is probably seen as something special to the residents of the town. I haven't been there for 8 years, but even in my memories, the Tono mansion was ridiculously large. Yeah, that's right. I don't think it's the right place for me either, but it's too late now that I'm done moving. You don't seem too happy about it. It's not a particularly good or bad thing. I don't really understand it myself. Well, even if it is your house, it's been 8 years, right? I can understand if you're feeling restless. It'll probably feel like someone else's house for a while. I wonder if that's so. I haven't gone back yet, so I don't know. Well, I'm a bit relaxed since I've always got a refuge at your place. You know, actually, I do remember this conversation. Was this, this is very reminiscent of one in the Xiao routes, with talking with Xiao in the classroom. Listen, you, I'm not impressed with how you come to stay in my house every time something bad happens. I like your personality trait of not standing out, but I've hated how you're always too reserved for a long time now. Arihiko strikes the table with a bang again. Well, everything Arihiko said is true, so there's no way to fight back. Inui-kun, does Tono-kun really stay at your house that often? Yeah, he does. That damn Tono is too reserved towards his parents, and he would come to my place every long vacation. He's reserved towards them because they're taking care of him. I guess Arihiko's parents are on vacation or working abroad or just not home, I guess, that they have had to learn how to cook themselves. I mean, they probably would anyway, but interesting. That's why he comes over to my place where we conveniently have an empty room. Since he looks pretty decent, my sister took a liking to him, and he shamelessly comes to stay with us without paying a cent. Arihiko's fist trembles as if to say, unforgivable. Taking care of Tono-kun? Arihiko clamps a hand over his mouth. Sorry, I should have thought before I spoke. It's okay. You didn't say anything wrong. I continue to eat my bread without looking at Arihiko. Really? Yeah, you're right. If you complain about that, you'll be in for some punishment. Arihiko nods to himself in agreement. His overwhelming optimism is something I am truly envious of. Tono-kun, did you not get along with your previous family? No, that's not it. This guy had no problem with the Arimas. Oh, the Arimas were the family who took care of him. They're really nice people, and from what I could see, they're a happy family. Even so, he refused to be their adopted child, and he escaped to my place every vacation. Sheesh, just what were you not satisfied with anyway? There's nothing I wasn't satisfied with. It's just that I've received so much from them already, I didn't want to be a further burden on them. I turn away. And all of a sudden, I realize Yumizuka is close by. Ooh, we got Yumizuka and Xiao in the same scene. Lovely. Her eyes look like she wants to say something, but it seems like she can't bring herself to intrude. She's like our timid Tosaka Rin. What's wrong, Yumizuka-san? Like, even her hair is very Rin-esque. I leave Arihiko and Senpai and call out to Yumizuka. I have something to talk to you about. Is now a good time? Sure. Can we talk here? Like, my voice for Yumizuka is like a shitty dub. I mean, that's just all my voices, so let's be real. Yumizuka's eyes flicker towards Arihiko. It seems Yumizuka isn't good at dealing with Arihiko. Okay. Is it alright if we discuss this in the hallway? I don't mind. I'm leaving for a while, Arihiko. Waving to Arihiko and Senpai, I exit with Yumizuka into the hallway. This is interesting. Huh. So, what did you want to ask me? I'm sorry if I'm wrong about this, but have you been walking around at night in the business district lately? Whoa, interesting question. Huh? Business district? I rarely go there even in the daytime, let alone at night. Her question is so entirely off that I become interested instead. At night you say? Around what time? From what I've heard, past midnight. Midnight? Then that rules it out completely. I occasionally go out to the business district at night to buy something, but I've never been out into the city that late before. That's definitely not me. My household is old-fashioned, so they've got a curfew at 7. You can't get in after that even if you cry. Since I don't want to have to camp outside, I tried to my death to get home before 7. Oh, would an Akiha like that? But so Yumizuka has noticed in the business district at midnight. So we know what that means, right? But she's seen that herself, or is she like heard of it on the news? Of the fact that she's asking Tono in particular is interesting to me. I'm upfront in denying Yumizuka's question. She smiles happily. Yeah, I know. The Arima family is also the head of a style of tea ceremony. That's right, it must be really strict for you, Tono-kun. Not so much strict as they like to tease me, eh? Yumizuka-san, you seem to know quite a bit. Are you a student of it? No, I don't really know that much about tea ceremony. I have a friend who goes there and she told me it was really strict. Oh, but Yumizuka-san, how did you know I lived with the Arimas? I haven't even told anyone here at our high school. You've forgotten that we went to the same middle school together, haven't you? Yumizuka giggles as she speaks. Oh yeah, that's because that's the whole thing with the story and Shiki's saving her from the shed. Unintentionally on his part, he doesn't really see it that way, but there you go. Eh? We went to the same middle school? I can't remember, so I can't say anything, but if that's true, then it wouldn't be odd if she knew I was entrusted to the Arimas. A likely story. Yumizuka-san, maybe, It's okay as long as it's not you, Tono-kun. Sorry for interrupting your lunch. Wow, she wanted to know if it was him. I mean, obviously, but it's okay as long as it's not you. Interrupting my words, Yumizuka Satsuki goes back into the classroom after saying this. Yo, is your conversation over? Yeah, it seems like she just got the wrong person. Hey, Arihiko. Yeah, Yumizuka went to our middle school. To say more, she was our classmate during our 2nd and 3rd year, and now in the 2nd year of high school, making for 3 years until— Were you eavesdropping? Huh? As if he knew my question, he answers. How did you know what I was going to ask? Because of that look on your face. But damn, I thought you were just ignoring her, but you actually didn't even notice her. She's really persistent, or maybe she's just eccentric. She's had to suffer a lot. Oh. Like, ooh, little does she know. Oh boy. But wow, very perceptive of Arihiko. He is truly a good friend of Tono, to read him like that. But she's already suffered a lot, huh? Probably from the fact that Tono has not noticed her and that she very clearly wants his attention. Arihiko makes a difficult face and shrugs. I knew it. She is Tono-kun's girlfriend, right? I mean, what are you saying, senpai? There's no way that could be. I've never even had a proper conversation with her. I mean, it could be, Shiki. It could be, but I know you wouldn't. But let's be real, it could be. No, there's no use hiding it. You two look like you get along very well. I'm a little jealous. That seems to be a theme with Ciel. Poor Ciel. Ended up very jealous at the end of the Archived route. But she's used to her suffering, so it's kind of like just kind of a really difficult thing for her, and that was very bittersweet about it as well. And now even with Yumizuka here, I didn't expect this. It's making her so happy. Senpai looks at me with an excited expression. Senpai. Arihiko, you say something to this confused person here too. Alright, y'all, I'm gonna go check on something real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. About what? I don't know what you and Yumizuka are up to. All I know is that you two were having a merry conversation this morning. Alright, dude, alright. Oh my god, look at her. Yeah, a secret meeting at school in the morning. How bold of you, Tono-kun. Senpai is getting more and more worked up in an incomprehensible way. But whatever. After all, it doesn't matter to me if Senpai misunderstands. But you mustn't be so blunt to her, Tono-kun. Yumizuka-san looks kind of sad, doesn't she? You've got to give her more of your attention. I want to. Look, CL's talking to me too. I want to do that. Oh god, wouldn't that be nice? But I, for the life of me, whatever choice I missed towards the end of the arc route, as far as Yumizuka, I've no clue. Like I might go back after everything, but I don't know, man. Is it just gonna keep rubbing it in my face? Like, you should spend more time with her. You're not going to, though. Senpai, lunch is going to end soon. Yes. See you later, Tono-kun, Inoue-kun. Smiling Senpai leaves our classroom. I feel a little exhausted. Tono, don't go after Yumizuka. Arihiko mumbles this with a stern face. Don't go after? Why? Listen, about Yumizuka, despite her appearance, she's really shy and single-minded. She's not compatible at all with someone absent-minded like you. That kind of girl is dangerous to get really involved with. Okay. Arihiko goes back to his own seat. I will heed your foreshadowing, maybe. If that's what that is. I don't. Again, I can't tell if it's rubbing it in or if it's going to be like, you're going to get the chance again, and I'm going to have to really pay attention to what choice that might be in the future. What is he talking about? It's not like I'm thinking of doing something with Yumizuka-san, baka. I mutter to no one in particular and sit down in my own seat. Oh, I guess I will not skip. Oh, because this is... Okay, I see. The last class of the day ends. I don't feel like going to the mansion right away, so I just blankly stare out of the window overlooking the school grounds. The classroom is dyed orange by the sunset. It's like red watercolor paint and it hurts my eyes. I don't like red. It feels like it soaks deep into the back of my eyes and I want to throw up. It seems I am weak against things that resemble blood. Oh, I should say I am weak against blood itself. 8 years ago, I had a near-death experience. I was in an accident where I was injured in the chest and I teetered between life and death for days. I should have died instantly, but miraculously I survived. Maybe it's because of the great medical treatment. However, the injuries were so severe that I don't even remember the accident. Right, Seo implied that Akiha was the one who saved Shiki, which is... Huh? So yeah, that's actually something I missed in my initial discussion at the very beginning of this video. How did Akiha save Shiki back then? Seo's like, well, yeah, you would have died if she didn't do something. I'm like, huh? And you know, she apparently saved him again with the fucking blade in his chest. Yeah. So the reason I'm doing this scene and not just reading it in my head is because I'm pretty sure the choice is right after this. This is a choice I remember. I think this is where like Shiki decides to go back to the mansion, or pretty sure, and then he goes back and kind of reflects. That's where I unlocked the part about the white ribbon, I think, which is another thing. Maybe that's about Akiha too, but or Hisui. It has to be one of the two, since those are the two that become available after completing a near side route, I think, as far as I know. But yes, I'm pretty sure the choice is coming up here. 8 years ago when I was a child, I felt a thud pass right through the middle of my chest. Then I passed out. When I woke up, I was in a hospital bed. All I could remember afterwards was the pain and the cold. I don't remember much of the accident, but even today the scar on my chest remains. I guess numerous fragments of glass pierced my chest, leaving burn-like scars there and in my back. Actually, I was quite surprised at being saved. Ever since then, I frequently collapse from an anemia like dizziness and cause a lot of trouble for others. Maybe that's why my old man believed I was unfit to be the heir to the Tono household, and entrusted me to our relatives. The wound on my chest, huh? A huge scar in the middle of my chest, hidden from view by my uniform. Now that I think about it, after that accident was when I started to see those lines. I'm able to forget them thanks to the glasses that Sensei gave me. But I think I would have completely gone mad if I never met her. Keiko-san, the person who had been my mother up until now, said when I left that the Tono household wasn't normal. Huh. I forget that she says that to him. It's funny, because like, that's a great, just vague warning. No problem. I'm not a normal person myself, that's true. Adjusting my crooked glasses, I pick up my bag. I can't stay in the classroom forever. Now then, okay, here we go. So, I remember this choice being here in the classroom. So, let me defer back to this first page thing that I found. That does not go past day 1, by the way. It's only up to reiterate, it's only up to the diverging point to far side, from what I've been told. I will go back to the mansion. Ooh, it's not letting me skip this. Excellent. Okay. I'm liking the new stuff I'm getting. Like the whole thing with Yumizuka and them teasing Shiki about is that your girlfriend, and also like Arihiko's warning to Shiki, because I really hope that goes somewhere here in the Far Side routes. I don't know when that it would happen. I really hope they go somewhere. I feel the thing is I still feel bad about forgetting her and the fact that I missed apparently a choice. But the fact that it took the time to do that, I have a feeling it's going to be a thing, or I'm really hoping. So that was really cool, man. I'm liking the new stuff so far, even though we technically haven't even begun. I don't have anything to do, so I hurry up and leave school. Come to think of it, I hadn't left the school by the main entrance since the entrance ceremony. I guess this will be the way to and from school from now on, since I live in the mansion. Apparently there's something new here. Leaving from the main gate, I come to the intersection that leads to the residential district. This is the point at which the paths to the city and the residential district where the mansion is part. And there is Yumizuka. Oh, it's Tono-kun. Suddenly, I run into Yumizuka. Hello, Yumizuka-san. It may have been because of Seo-senpai's teasing, but I feel a little embarrassed. Yumizuka-san looks at me, bewildered. Yumizuka-san? Is there something on my face? I was wondering what you were doing here, Tono-kun. Isn't your house in the other direction? Well, it was until yesterday, but I'm living somewhere else starting today. From now on, I'll be living at the place on top of the hill at the end of that residential district. Ah, so that's what you were talking about this morning. Yumizuka claps her fist and an open palm together in understanding. Well, all flattery aside, that gesture seems incredibly cute. That's right. I guess there's no point hiding it from you since you already know. I'm leaving my guardians, the Arimas, and going back to my real house today. Your real house? You mean the Tono-san mansion? Yeah. I don't think it really suits me either. I see. You're really a prince on top of a hill after all. It was a secret only Inui-kun and I knew, but now I guess everyone's going to find out. I like how Shiki just ignores the way she phrased that. You're a prince on top of a hill after all. And then he just moving on. With a faint smile, Yumizuka casts her gaze into the distance, so that's definitely part of their relationship. Shiki is not paying her the attention she wants. She looks out at the horizon as if looking at the Tono mansion off in the distance on top of the hill. Will you be alright? Even if it is your house, you've been away for 8 years, right? Aren't you afraid or worried? Yeah, I'm actually kind of uneasy. I never liked that mansion to begin with, and now it's going to feel like someone else's house too. But still, I can't lead a carefree life on my own and leave my sister Akiha there all by herself, that's right. No matter how uneasy I am, I have to return to the mansion. In the end, it's still my home. I think it's only natural for me to go back. I see. Sorry for stopping you, Tono-kun. You must be in a hurry, right? No, not really. I was just having a stroll on the way home. Ah, I see. For some reason, Yumizuka looks downcast and falls silent. I'm still kind of finding my voice for Yumizuka. It's getting there. What's wrong, Yumizuka-san? Are you feeling sick? I break the silence, but she continues to stare downwards without raising her head. I can't just leave her there, so I continue to stand there, looking at her. And then... Yeah, what is it? I'm going home along the same way as you until we reach the hill. Really? Then let's go together for part of the way. Eh? Yumizuka's eyes widen and she stands there stiffly for a moment. Yeah. You're right. We're going back the same way, so it wouldn't be strange for us to go together for part of the way, right? Oh, that's what she said. Okay. Excuse me. She says this all with an excessively cheerful voice and stands right beside me. It's like dryly read it as Shiki. Just at the right time, too. Not too familiar with the streets around here, so would you mind guiding me? I'm completely misreading. Sure. Well then, let's go down this street. It's a back street that leads all the way to the street on the hill. I walk home while chatting with Yumizuka. Talking to Yumizuka isn't anything particularly special, but it is enjoyable in a peaceful kind of way. Despite what Arihiko had said, Yumizuka Satsuki has a gentle air about her, and I feel safe being around her. While we are talking, Yumizuka suddenly laughs as if she had remembered something. What is it all of a sudden? Did I say something funny? No, that's not it. It's just that starting tomorrow I'll be taking the same route to school as you. She laughs, looking truly happy. She kind of has like I've kind of given her like an arc-ish quality to her, but I'm kind of making her voice crack a little because she is kind of like a bit nervous and giddy with Shiki. She laughs, looking truly happy. That honest smiling face is enough to make me happy as I watch her. It's a great smile. It's a pretty great smile. I didn't realize it up until now. Even putting her looks and mannerisms aside, Yumizuka Satsuki is kind of cute. I am slowly beginning to understand why the boys in our class had been so worked up over her for so long now. Conversation ceases. I'm simply fascinated by Yumizuka's smile, and the two of us fall silent. Without saying anything, we walk towards the residential district in the sunset. Suddenly... I remember this, CG. Hey, do you remember what happened during the winter vacation of our second year of middle school? Yumizuka murmurs. I tilt my head to one side. The winter vacation of the second year of middle school was when I had applied to stay for extra lessons at school because I felt bad about staying at the Arimas. And Shiki, even though like the Arimas like treated him really well, Shiki just kind of like maintained this guilt about and not wanting to, I guess, overstay his welcome and not wanting to be a burden and not wanting to just be like their adopted child and staying with Arihiko and now taking lessons at school. He really, man, that sucks. It really fucking sucks. I remembered well enough, but I still don't understand why she asked me about it. Just as I thought. Someone like Tono-kun would never have remembered. Oh. Disappointed, Yumizuka's shoulders droop. There are two sports sheds at our middle school, remember? It was a new shed used by the big clubs, and the other one was an old one used by the smaller clubs like badminton. The old shed had a certain problem where the alignment of the door was bad, so there were often times when it wouldn't open. Old shed? That little concrete building at the back of the gymnasium? Ah, that shed. The one which they stopped using after some students got trapped inside. Yeah, that's the one. Students were second years from the badminton club. Ah, yeah, something like that did happen. It was early in the new year on a cold winter's day. This color is so pleasing to me. I used to have like a lighting strip in my room, like lined up against the top. It stopped working after like months, and I was so disappointed. because there was like a shade similar to this blue that I would just have light up my room, and I would do like recordings with it. I don't know if there was some videos I did with it, and like I think I used the purple one for the Heavens Feel spring song, not spring song, Lost Butterfly reaction I did. Anyway, I need some mood lighting for my room basically, especially for these. Oh, that'd be so cool for these Tsukihime recordings. Anyway, but even that was only until 5 in the evening. Oh, the first 3 days of the new year having passed, I had applied for extra lessons and requested to stay behind at school to help out because I felt bad about staying at Arimas. Okay, so that was the same thing. I thought it was repeated. It was. But even that was only until 5 in the evening. It had become dark and I was forced out of the classrooms as all the teachers were going home. The middle of winter. Even if it was only 5, the surroundings really had darkened. The weather report had predicted snow for that day and the cold was extra harsh. And so, just when I had decided to head straight home for the day, I heard a banging sound from the old shed and I went to check things out. Is anyone in there? I asked, and I heard the voices of several female students in reply from inside the shed. They had been trapped in there for 2 hours. While packing up the club equipment, they had closed the door because of the cold and now it wouldn't open again. They couldn't open the door no matter what and wanted me to call one of the teachers for help. The teachers had all gone home. Even if I were to call them now on the phone, it'd at least take another hour. The cold on that day was truly terrible. And the kind of cold that should have prompted snow, I thought it would be cruel to leave those girls stuck in the shed wearing only their PE uniforms for another hour. After some hesitation and confirming that no one else was around, I took off my glasses and cut the line on the shed door. The door opened and about 5 female students, eyes red from crying, poured out. Come to think of it, there was something like that. I'm surprised you know about it. The captain of the trapped badminton club told me this has to do with the club's survival, so don't tell anyone else. It was almost like she was threatening me. Oh, Tono-kun, you had no interest in knowing who was trapped inside there, did you? Listen, I was one of those badminton club members. Yumizuka sounds like she's pouting. And so in other words, I still remember it well. When I think about it now, it was only being trapped inside a shed, but at the time, it was cold and dark and I was really worried. Everyone thought we were going to freeze to death like that. My stomach was growling from hunger too. I was just about to collapse. That must have been rough. I'm sad right now. I'm so sad. Like this is already sad after the CL route. It's just even more sad after ARC. It's like twice in a row. She's just like fuck. Like, damn it, I have to go through this again. And I know this is all the same right now. It seems the main difference was how their interaction started, you know, referencing how CL was teasing them and that kind of embarrassment there. But I'm glad to like see this again. And if anything else is different, I can't really empathize with her, so I give a half-hearted response. Shiki is so honest. Unconcerned, Yumizuka continues her recollections, bringing up old events anew. And just when everyone was trembling, you came along and asked, "Is anyone in there?" in your usual unexcited voice. And then the captain got angry and shouted, "Can't you tell just by looking? Do you remember?" Yeah, I remember. There was a loud bang when she threw a bat at the door. I was really surprised. That's right, Yumizuka says, laughing. When we heard all the teachers had gone home, we had really lost all hope. We couldn't stand being there for even a minute longer, yet we had to face the prospect of being trapped until the next day. Just when we were thinking about how miserable the world was, you knocked on the door and said, "I might be able to open the door if you can keep it a secret." Yeah. Then I heard another bang and someone said, "If it opened that easily, we wouldn't be suffering in here." She was really angry. Yeah, the captain felt responsible for us getting trapped, so she didn't have much patience to spare. Soon after that, the door opened. Everyone was happy that the captain's knocking with the bat must have worked and ran outside, but I was watching you aimlessly stand by the door. Yumizuka looks at me warmly, but that only troubles me. To me, it meant nothing, so I can't really appreciate her gratitude. I was crying really hard at that time. My eyes just felt like they were swelling up and they looked terrible. What do you think you said when you saw me like that? I don't know. What did I say? I really don't remember, so I ask as if it was something someone else had done. Despite this, Yumizuka still looks at me happily. Put your hand on my head and said, hurry up and go home and eat some ozoni. I was a little embarrassed because I was trembling so much from the cold. I knit my brows. I don't know what I meant back then. I think you meant for me to warm up my body by having some ozoni. I see. It was right after New Year's after all. Ozoni? That does sound like the stupid kind of thing I would say. Now that it's put to me like this, I regret not having picked something better to say. I think that's perfect, to be honest. Back then I thought there are plenty of reliable people at school, but if I ever really need to be saved, it will be someone like Tono-kun who saves me. Yumizuka. There have already been 4 endings that do not end well for you. 4. Oh gosh. Okay, let's keep going. You're exaggerating. Look, it's like how a baby chick thinks the first human it meets is its mother. I just happened to help you. That's not true. Ever since then, I really believed that you'd come and help me no matter what the problem was. Your expression is quite resolute. Giving me too much credit, Yumizuka-san. I'm not that reliable of a person. It's alright. That's what I believe, so let me keep believing it. Her blush. She pronounces this while staring straight at me, and I am too embarrassed to offer a rebuttal. Well, I guess you can believe what you want. Isn't that right? So if I'm ever in a pinch, you'll come and help me, right? I will try if given the opportunity. I don't know. Just stop the pain, please. Yumizuka asks me, smiling. To be honest, that would be kind of troubling. Despite what she thinks, I'm not the sort of guy who can do everything. I'm not, but when she faces me with that smile, I don't want to destroy that faith she has in me. Yeah. If it's within my power, I'll help you. Yep. Thank you, Tono-kun. I know it's a bit late to say this, but I was really happy because of what you said to me back then. Saying that, Yumizuka suddenly stops. Naturally, I stop too. I've always wanted to talk with you like this, Tono-kun. Somewhere in her voice was a hint of wistfulness. Perhaps it's because of the red light from the sunset, but somehow, Yumizuka looks lonely. What do you mean? You can talk to me anytime. No, I can't. Inui-kun is always around you, and besides, I can't become someone like you, Tono-kun. With that reserved answer, Yumizuka draws away from me. I can't become someone like you. And fucking Arihiko. Well, my house is this way, so I'll see you at school tomorrow. Bye-bye, smiling. Oh, that was this. Well, my house is this way, so I'll see you at school tomorrow. Bye-bye, smiling. Yumizuka waves her hand and begins walking down another street. We're not, but thank you for reminding me that there is no justice for her. Oh boy. Thanks, Nasu. Okay. I'm not gonna skip, but I will cut back to the choice, I guess. So, be right back. Okay, well, I don't have to look at the website to know what to do here. How about my little sister Akiha? Okay, so I'm gonna keep this in the video. It's her route, and as a rule, I don't want to skip things about the route's heroine or person. Apparently, Akiha tried to visit me a few times when I first was entrusted to Arimas. See, I actually forgot that detail. This is good for me. Unfortunately, we were never able to meet because I had to go to the hospital every day. We completely lost contact after Akiha went to a boarding school. Unlike Akiha, I am isolated from the main family. That's why I can live freely like this. My high school is just an average high school, and our chance of contact was pretty much zero. My old man died, and I received word telling me to come back. To be blunt, I had no intention whatsoever of returning to the Tono house. But Akiha is at that house. When we were children, Akiha was an obedient child, always looking frightened as if she were constantly enduring something. Oh boy. She would always follow close behind, her footsteps pattering behind me. She was frail, and her long black hair and fancy Western clothes made her resemble a French doll. I'm worried about her living all alone in that big mansion with the old man gone. More than anything, I feel guilty after pushing all the Tono family responsibilities on her and selfishly living a free life by myself. That's definitely going to be a big thing too. I feel like in the same way that with Ciel and Arcueid, where Tono feels this sense of like responsibility just due to their individual circumstances and you know, carries on within the route in honor of that. I feel like this is definitely going to be like the thing for Shiki. But we'll see what else it is. Perhaps my acceptance to return to the mansion is like my apology to Akiha. The Tono mansion is unnecessarily big. Surrounded by iron railings, you could say the entire lot is abnormally expansive, being so large that a whole elementary school could fit inside. The garden, surrounded by trees, is more like a forest. The mansion is at the heart of that forest, and there are a few other buildings separated from it. I didn't think anything of it when I was a child, but now that I have lived in an ordinary household for 8 years, the excessive size feels almost criminal. The gates aren't locked. I push them open and head towards the mansion doors. They tower oppressively, bearing down on any visitors. Beside the iron double doors is an unmatching doorbell. Alright. Checking off my nervousness, I press it. There isn't any affectionate ding-dong chime from the doorbell. The oppressive silence continues for a few seconds. Then, the sound of pattering footsteps behind the door indicates someone's presence. We have been waiting for you. The door opens with a creak. Inside lay the lobby I remembered and a young girl in an apron. Oh, it's Kohaku. That's right. I don't know why I thought it was Hisui.
Thank goodness. It's so late I was beginning to worry that you had gotten lost. I was thinking about going out to meet you if you hadn't arrived by sunset.
The girl in the anachronistic apron smiles warmly. No, that's, I'm so taken aback by her outdated mode of dress that I can't even form a proper sentence. Rude, Shiki. Perhaps attributing my hesitance to distrust, the girl tilts her head a little.
You're Shiki-sama, aren't you?
Yeah, but you don't have to call me Sama.
You are, right? Oh, please don't scare me like that. I was beginning to think I'd made another mistake back there.
Another? Oh, Kohaku, I will learn your pain one day. The girl's mannerisms are like those of a mother scolding her child. But in spite of that, there's a smile on her face and it doesn't break the warm feeling about her. She wears an apron over a kimono. She comes out to greet guests and addresses someone like me with Sama. This must mean that she's... are you one of the maids here, by any chance? The girl answers my question with nothing but a smile.
Come, you must be tired. Please do come in. Akiha-sama is waiting for you in the sitting room.
The girl quickly crosses the lobby and heads towards the sitting room. Turning back as if she just remembered something, she makes a bow and a full smile. A full smile on her face.
Welcome home, Shiki-sama.
Her greeting is accompanied by her flower-like smile. I can't think of any reply, so I just follow her hesitatingly. Guided by the girl, I head to the sitting room. It's as if I'm seeing it for the first time. I don't know if I've forgotten it in the last 8 years or if they had refurbished it since then. Either way, it feels like someone else's house now, and it's unsettling. As I'm looking around the sitting room, the maid in the apron lowers her head in a quick bow. Oh yeah, Akiha was about to say this. Something else I forgot to mention at the very beginning of the video. The whole thing that Akiha says don't walk around the mansion at night. Why? I can't get a midnight snack? What happens in the mansion at night? Why can't I walk around? Are you inversion impulsing across the carpet? Like what's going on? As I'm looking around the sitting room, the maid in an apron lowers her head in a quick bow.
I brought Shiki-sama with me. Well done. You may return to the kitchen, Kohaku. Thank you.
It seems that maid's name is Kohaku. Kohaku-san gives a small bow as if to say farewell and leaves the sitting room. This leaves me and two girls I don't recognize.
It's been a long time, Nissan,
says the girl with the long black hair and sharp eyes. All my thought processes stop at once. My mind goes blank and I can't think of any words of greeting. All I can do is nod with a yeah. I don't think it can be helped. This Akiha that I had not seen in 8 years is not the Akiha I remember. She's completely transformed into a proper young lady of a noble family.
Nissan?
The black-haired girl tilts her head slightly. Pathetically, all I can say are dumb-sounding things. My mind is turning in somersaults as I try to recognize the girl before me as Akiha, but it seems like Akiha already recognizes me as her brother.
You do not look well. Would you like to rest before we talk?
Akiha throws a sharp glance in my direction. Is it just my imagination that she looks like she's in a bad mood? No, I'm alright. I was just surprised at how much you've changed, Akiha.
People do change over the course of 8 years, Nissan. We are at an age of change. Or did you think we would remain as we were forever?
What is this? I can feel the thorns in Akiha's words. And like right, this is right after he reflects on how like timid she was. She would always just follow him around, but I feel like beneath the surface there's still that hurt little girl in there. You know what I'm saying? Just to get like all pseudo psychological. No, you've definitely changed, Akiha. You become more beautiful than before. That isn't flattery. It's how I really feel.
And indeed, but you, on the other hand, have not changed much at all.
Akiha answers coldly, her eyes closed. Well, I came prepared for something like this. It is as I had thought. It seems Akiha does not think well of me.
You are feeling well, let us finish our conversation. You have yet to hear the details about why you were called back here, Nissan.
I've heard nothing more than a sudden come back to the mansion, though I found out the old man passed away in the papers. The head of a major company dies, it definitely makes it in the financial papers. Word of Tono Makihisa's death reached his son Tonoshiki via the newspaper after the funeral. Even though his relatives hadn't told him, this disinherited son could pick up news of his father's death merely by buying a 100 yen newspaper. Might be cynical of me to say so, but the world has certainly become a convenient place. Oh, wait till you get smartphones, Shiki.
I'm sorry. It was my fault that you did not get the news about father.
Akiha quietly lowers her head. It's alright. Either way, it's not like he would come back from the dead if I went. It's not something you should be worried about. I'm sorry. Wait, hold up. This is kind of a fucked up thought. Did we find out how exactly he died? Like, for Shiki to saying just now, it's not like he would come back. Would it be possible we would come across him as one of the dead? That's a super, like, dumb, just random thought, but like... Huh. Anyway.
I'm sorry. It is somewhat comforting to hear you say that.
Akiha's face is serious, but this is not a topic I care much about. A funeral is a ceremony for those who cannot let go of their feelings for the deceased to achieve such detachment. For someone like me, who cut off such feelings a long time ago, there is no need.
Calling you back here was my idea. It would be odd for the eldest son of the Tonos to be entrusted to the Animas forever. Now that father has passed away, the only Tonos by blood are you and I, Nissan. I don't know what father was thinking when he entrusted you to the Animas, but he's no longer with us, so there's no longer any need for you to live with them.
And this is, okay, and this is like interesting after learning that she does know everything, like she knows why Shiki was sent away. So it's not that she doesn't know what he was thinking. It seems like it's clear that it's like for her own personal reason. Like, she wants her Nissan back, right?
It is why I had you come back here.
That's all well and good, but I'm quite surprised you were able to get our relatives to agree to this. Wasn't it they who came up with the idea of leaving me with the Arimas in the first place?
That may be so, but now I am the head of the Tono family. I declined every one of the proposals from our relatives. Would like you to continue living here, Nissan, but this is a place with rules. You will avoid living the overly casual lifestyle you've been leading up until now.
Afraid that isn't going to happen, Akiha. There's no way I can go back to being some well-mannered gentleman now. Not that I want to.
I will not ask more of you, but do try to. Or are you trying to say you are unable to do what I already have?
Akiha shoots me a cold look. It feels like she's hitting me with her grudge against me for leaving her here for the last 8 years. Alright, I get it. I'll try my best. Akiha just stares at me as if she doesn't quite believe me. As she should not.
You do not need to try as long as you get the results.
Her pose is dignified, her words merciless.
Let's get back to the topic. Right now, you and I are the only ones living here. I do not care for having too many people around, so I cleared everyone out.
Huh? Hold on a second, Akiha. You cleared everyone out?
You wouldn't want to run into one of our relatives in the mansion, would you, Nissan? I have put off most of the servants, but there are enough for you and I, so there are no problems.
Wait, no problems? You're going to get attacked at our family meeting if you do something like that.
Oh, please be quiet. Rather than have the mansion overflowing with people, wouldn't you feel more relaxed with just the two of us here?
Well, it's true that I would feel relaxed, but you've only just become the head of the family, Akiha. If you go around abusing your powers like some kind of dictator, our relatives are not going to keep quiet. Even though the old man didn't go against their opinions. Oh, even the old man.
Indeed. That's why father entrusted you to the Arimas. I, on the other hand, have despised them ever since I was a child. I am not going to put up with their whining any longer.
Not going to put up with... Look, Akiha.
Enough. Just listen. You don't have to worry about me. Please, just worry about your own life from now on, Nissan.
But that ain't gonna happen.
I can see it's going to be difficult for you in many ways.
Akiha says suddenly, looking away a little.
Now then, if there's anything you don't understand, ask her, Hisui.
She looks at the girl standing by her side. The girl called Hisui bows expressionlessly.
This is Hisui. She will be your personal maid from now on. Is that acceptable?
Eh? Hold on, personal maid? You mean... In other words,
she's your servant.
Akiha declares as if it were obvious. I can't believe it. Fitting with the western style of the house, the girl in the maid outfit stands there as if it is natural to do so. Hold on. I'm not a kid, you know. I don't need a servant. I can take care of myself.
Would that include the cooking and the laundry?
Akiha is pretty sharp at pointing these things out. Come on, Shiki, you're a young man. You gotta learn these things.
At any rate, now that you've returned to this house, you will obey my directions. I don't know how you lived at the Arima house, but you're living at the Tono house now. Please accept everything given to you.
I can't say anything, and my eyes drift towards Hisui. As expected, she simply looks back at me expressionlessly like a doll.
Well then, Hisui, please show Nissan to his room. Yes, my lady.
Hisui approaches me with a shadow-like lack of a presence.
I will guide you to your room, Shiki-sama.
Hisui heads towards the lobby. Sighing, I head off towards the lobby as well. We enter the lobby. This mansion is split into east and west wings with the lobby in the middle. The lobby is like the body of a bird whose wings are the halls extending diagonally to the east and west. Hold on. I've not taken my allergy medication today yet. Oh, how I have faltered, but I'm doing fine. It's not too bad. The lobby is like the body of a bird whose wings are the halls extending diagonally to the east and west. Each wing is about the size of a small hospital. I remember the house. This house is ridiculously huge. Like when he makes those comparisons, I'm just reminded at how stupidly big this house is. I remember the house is constructed symmetrically, so both the east and the west wings have the same floor plan.
Your room is this way, Shiki-sama.
Hisui climbs up a flight of stairs. It seems like my room is on the second floor. Come to think of it, the servant's room should be on the first floor of the west wing, so that's probably where Hisui and Kohaku-san's rooms are. Outside, the sun is already set. The girl in the maid uniform walks down the long, dimly lit hallway without a word. Kinda feels like a wonderland. Without thinking, I let my thoughts slip out.
Did you say something, Shiki-sama?
Hisui stops and looks back at me. No, I'm just talking to myself. Don't worry about it. After staring at me, Hisui bows and starts walking again. I guess this is what they call being at a loss for words. The room Hisui led me to is not one made for a mere high school student to live in. Is this my room?
Yes. If you are displeased with it, I can arrange a different one for you.
No, there's no way I could be displeased with it. It's just a little, no, really too fancy for me.
Shiki-sama?
It's fine. I'll gladly use this room.
Yes. This room has not been touched since 8 years ago, so I do not believe you will find anything unsatisfactory with it.
There's something a little odd about the way Hisui said that. It's as if she was implying this was once my room. Hey, is this by any chance my old room?
That is what I have been told. Am I mistaken?
Hisui inclines her head to the side slightly. Anime head tilt. I feel relieved. It seems this girl can express emotion after all. Well, it might be now that you mention it. I do remember it faintly, so it must be so. I can't feel any sense of familiarity about this place at all, but I guess that's what it's like after you leave a place for 8 years. I can't get settled here though. I was living in a 6.5 mat-sized room until this morning. It's like I'm staying in some high-class hotel.
I understand how you feel, but please try to get used to it. From today onwards, you are the eldest son of the Tono house, Shiki-sama.
You're right. I've got to do my best so I at least look like it on the outside. With a thump, I drop my bag on the table and stretch my back. I've been feeling a little stressed out with everything that's happened so far, but I guess I've got no choice but to adjust from today onwards.
Shiki-sama, all of your luggage has been brought here. Is there anything more you require?
No, not really. Why do you ask?
There was very little delivered. If there is anything you need, I can have it prepared, so please do not hesitate to ask.
I see. No, I don't need anything more for now. I didn't have much luggage to begin with. My luggage is just this bag, these glasses, and the textbooks in my bag, and that white ribbon with an unidentified owner. That's all. The white ribbon. Anyways, you don't have to worry about the luggage. This fancy room is more than enough for me.
I understand. Well then, I shall come to call you in an hour's time.
An hour? For dinner, you mean?
Yes. Please relax until then.
As expected, Hisui says everything with an expressionless face. But even if she tells me to relax, just how am I supposed to do that here? The clock says it's 6 o'clock. Usually I'd be watching TV in the sitting room around this time, but I'm having serious doubts as to whether there's any such thing in this mansion. I may stop here soon, but I know we're getting really close to like the next point. Hisui, I know it's kind of a trivial thing to ask about, but is there a television in this mansion?
Television?
Hisui's eyes narrow slightly. I know I'm the one who asks, but it really is a stupid question. I feel there's something wrong with asking about the presence of a TV in a luxurious mansion like this. Hisui makes a rare, troubled face and stares off into space.
There is no television in the sitting room. Some of the visitors did make use of one, but when they departed, they packed it up with their luggage and took it back with them, so I do not believe there are any remaining.
Hold on. Visitors? Like who? For how long?
Relatives. the eldest son of Kugamina-sama from a branch of the family, Tozaki-sama's third daughter and her fiancé, and Kishima-sama's eldest son came to stay for close to 3 years.
I'm wondering if any of this is gonna come back, like, because this is kind of like offhandedly mentioned, and it could just be like, just world building in a sense, like sort of, but I don't know. I'm just curious. Now that we're in the far side, I'm like questioning everything. 3 years, huh? Hisui, that's what you'd call freeloaders, not visitors. Hisui does not reply. No matter what kind of people these freeloaders were, it seems that servants can't say anything bad about them. Well, at any rate, it seems like those relatives had brought and taken back their own luggage with them. My old man hated the products of modern culture, thinking them all vulgar. There was no way he would ever watch the TV. Akiha, who had been educated by him for the last 8 years, would probably be the same. Well, it's not like I'll die without one. Hisui is silent. Like a perfect example for servants, Hisui says nothing unless she is being asked a direct question. This is, of course, kind of depressing for me. I want to make that expressionless face break into a smile somehow, but that seems impossible with just any old half-hearted efforts. AKA, we'll see you in the next route. We'll see that smile in the next route. Oh, there was a library on the first floor of the West Wing, wasn't there? Maybe I'll go find something to read when I have some free time. Hisui does not reply. She just stands there in the doorway. I can't even tell where she's looking. Hisui? Hisui doesn't say a word. Suddenly, she looks straight at me.
I believe there is one in Nessan's room.
Huh? I have no idea what she's talking about. There's one of what?
A television. I remember seeing one in Nessan's room.
Hisui says as if remembering something from many years ago. Which is interesting, like, the distance between Hisui and Kohaku. And as if she had to remember what her sister's room looks like. I don't know if they're purposefully separated, but it just, yeah, they've never talked to each other as far as I can tell so far. As far as like the routes themselves, like in CL route or ARC route, we didn't see any interactions between them. So I'm assuming a lot, but you know. Hold on. Nessan? Don't tell me you're talking about Kohaku-san.
Yes. Right now, the only people working at this mansion are Nessan and I.
Now that she mentions it, they do look alike. I just couldn't connect them as sisters because Kohaku-san is always smiling so warmly and Hisui is always expressionless. I see. Kohaku-san does look like the type of person who'd watch those variety shows. But I balk at going to Kohaku-san's room to tell her, let me watch your TV. Sorry, just forget I ever asked. After all, I'll be living here from now on, so I've got to follow the rules of the mansion. God knows what sort of cynical comment I'd be in for from Akiha if I started watching television. It seems I'll be leading a scholarly student life fit for a member of the Tono family from now on. Alright, I'll be in my room until dinner, so just come and call me when it's time. You've got other things to do, don't you, Hisui? Hisui nods in assent and turns around. Silently opening the door, she leaves the room. I suppose I will not skip. Okay. I'm gonna call it here. I feel fine calling it here because I'm still doing double Tsukihime every week. So next time we will I'll make sure we get to the nitty gritty and hopefully like start the route and do a bit of stuff. Of course, always the first part of starting a route is gonna be mostly the same. Like I'm seeing the little differences. I'm being reminded of certain plot points. I'm trying to maybe quote unquote predict some things. Not really, but you know. So that's what this is. You guys are used to this after I had a bit of a slow start with the arc route, which I think is fine. But yes, I'll be ready for next time to see how this ends, man. How this ends. What am I saying? To see how this begins with the route properly beginning. I can't wait to see how it's gonna diverge, what it means for all the characters, and what things will be revealed, man. Very looking forward to more. So that's it. Thank you so much for beginning for continuing to watch my playthrough, and I'll see you next time. Peace.